If you're watching this video, you've looked in the mirror as a parent and said to yourself, how do I stop my child's suffering? How do I stop their pain? I've been in that same boat before. Back in 2010, I had a son, Christopher. He was in 8th grade, 14 years old. Liked a girl in his class. She didn't like him back. So her and 2 other girls made fun of him, call him names, put stuff on social media. Christopher had trouble sleeping at night. So we brought him to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician tested him for everything. Couldn't find anything wrong. So she diagnosed him with depression. We talked to Christopher, and Christopher said, I don't feel depressed. Christopher was put on Zoloft. Then later on in the school year, we started noticing that he started wearing a lot of long sleeve shirts. So I had to force up his shirt on his sleeve and saw that he had cut marks on both arms, up and down both arms. We brought him to a psychologist. The psychologist talked to Christopher. They talked to us. They said, yeah, your son's depressed. And they increased his medication. 2 weeks later, was out getting pizza and get a frantic call from my 9-year-old daughter, Michaela. She said, Christopher's not responding to me. I think he's playing a joke. He's not moving. And my heart just sunk. I knew something was wrong. So I raced home through every stoplight, every stop sign, and pulled into the driveway and got out of the car and remember that burning smell of the brakes. And I raced down into the basement around the corner, and there was my son. He had hung himself. Christopher was taken by helicopter to the nearest children's hospital. He was on life support for 3 days. There was nothing that we could do to save his life. And that dramatically changed the impact of our lives forever, the devastation that we felt. So I wanted to become an expert on being able to make an immediate impact in your child's life, to change their life forever. I became a practitioner of what's called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So what neuro-linguistic programming is the first word neuro. It's our neurology, the physical, the mental, the emotional components that we have inside of ourselves. Language is the way we communicate with other people. Most importantly, the way we communicate with ourselves. The pictures that we have in our mind, what we say to ourselves, our feelings, that's all linguistic. Finally, programming, when NLP started, was back in the 70s, and computer programming was quite big back then. So today, the best example of telling you how that works, it's like installing an app on our operating system. We're the operating system, and we're installing an app to utilize this app immediately to affect change in our lives forever. And also instantaneously, at a snap, you can affect change in that child's life. This is what NLP was really about, is getting those apps and getting control of our operating system that already exists inside ourselves. By doing this, you can make the change immediately and effectively, and it can last forever. So if your child has free will, and he can change the way he feels and thinks and immediately, why is he not doing that? Better yet, why do we let so much of what's going on around us in the environment impact our mood and behavior? And why are these emotions so out of control and so drastic? And why do you feel that you don't know how to help your child, how to overcome the situations that they're going through? It's because we don't have a user manual on how to program our operating system. That's what NLP does. It's a manual for controlling our operating system. It allows us to install that app and immediately impact change in our lives. So you can create the life you've always wanted, to have the happiness that you've always wanted for your child. NLP was created by some of the best people on this planet, and it's also used by the most successful people in the world. Now it's time for your child to learn how to work inside themselves. I'm a certified practitioner of NLP. I've worked with over 2,000 clients. I've impacted people's lives from small to massive changes in their lives. Below, you'll see some testimonials of people's lives that I've changed. If you feel that your child needs this help to immediately get out of their state, immediately impact their lives, you need to fill out the information below. But I only have room in these sessions for about 20 people. So time is limited. If you want help for your child, fill out the information below and let's create the life that you've always wanted for that child.